Hello and welcome to another video in the series on higher performance in less time at CGSOC. I'll be talking about some essential software that I use to be successful during the course. By no means am I advocating to get any one of these pieces of software or purchase anything. This is just what I did and showing a way to get after it. If you're already familiar with this list of software, feel free to skip this video, jump to another one. But for those of you that haven't seen some of these before, I'll briefly be going through how to get each piece of software, and in further videos I'll discuss each one individually and how to use it effectively. So starting off with Google Drive. All right, so easily enough, we go to drive.google.com. If you were looking at the earlier video about templates, you will see that I was using Google Drive. Once you make it an account with Google, drive.google.com, you'll be presented with a website that looks a little bit like your personal computer, going through different folders and things. So for example, you'll see there's folders here. The link that I shared earlier is this drive right here. And the way that I shared that link or an individual file is you click either the folder, get shareable link or share, or you can right click the file, get shareable link or share. When I click get shareable link, anyone with this link can view. Now one policy at CGSOC is that you can't just publicly share things. That would require PA approval. So the way that you share to meet that policy requirement, but still being effective in the class, is you click that share link with the little icon with the plus on it. Instead of getting the link, you get people's email in your class. So here's some email of people I've worked with. And then you can give them permissions on, are they a viewer, editor, or owner? When you click done, it'll send them an email, and then they will be able to edit that document. A lot of people won't have a Google account. Just heads up, if you don't have a Google account, it may or may not let you do some functionality. And the link to share and edit those files will expire after 10 days. So for example, if you're working in the class and all of a sudden they lose connectivity and they're asking what the heck happened, it's probably because 10 days have gone by since you originally invited them with this share link, and you need to send it again, or they need to make a Google account. So that's how you can comply with policy while still being able to work together in class. And that's Google Drive. Now the other very critical piece that's really helps with workflow here with Google Drive is if you Google backup and sync, okay, you'll get a link to Google Drive's desktop software called Backup and Sync. You download and install that, and what will end up happening is you'll have a little icon down here in the corner, and you'll be able to go to right click it, go to preferences, and there you can click on Google Drive and select which folders in your Google Drive you want to sync to your desktop. Once you've done that, and you're on your desktop itself, you'll see something like this, where it says Google Drive. I can open it, go into like my CGSC, for example, here's classes, and I've organized each one of my class and all the files for each class. Here's some readings. And now, anytime that you're working on a paper, for example, you just save it into this folder like you would any other folder on your computer. Google Drive will automatically watch these changes happening, upload it to the cloud. That way, if your computer crashes or you need to work on a different computer, like you have your personal computer and the one at work, or you just want to share something with another student, it will always be up to date with whatever the most recent version is that you're working off of. This is particularly helpful if you're working on a shared PowerPoint together. For example, this PowerPoint, let's say everyone was editing this in Google Slides. Just ask everyone to stop, close their browsers for a minute. You'll see this thing spinning to update, and then you just email that to the instructor or whatever computer you're presenting off of, and it will be the most up-to-date version right there and then. You don't need to worry about going through the interface. So that's very helpful for staying synchronized and having a backup of everything. Grammarly. Okay, so Grammarly is a paid service. However, they do have a free tier. Essentially, you can create an account. In this case, I'll just log in. So you can log in with Google, for example, It'll open up a Google login account, log in with my Google, and once I'm logged in, I could either use the web interface or download their application. If you just sniff around, there'll be a download link somewhere. This is what the application looks like when you have it open on your computer. But here's an example of a paper I was writing. What Grammarly does is it proofreads that paper for you. One note is this is actually an approved assistance that you can get when writing papers in CGSOC, at least as of June of 2020. Perhaps that policy may change in the future. But right here, if I click this red underline, it says, hey, it's better to hyphen this. So you just click it. Right here, I could say, hey, you're using passive voice, or you have a misspelling or a sentence fragment here. And then the desktop app, same thing. It's just providing all the same recommendations, and then it can give you a little score. And you can have settings on how formal do you want to be? Do you want to be persuasive? What do you want to do? So really great for just catching those little mistakes. I've always found it helpful when writing a paper. Even when I'm convinced that I've written a really good paper and I've proofread it, I could usually find at least one or two mistakes using Grammarly. Again, they have a free tier. There is a paid tier, subscription, annual. If you want to get it, that's your personal choice, whether you spring for that or not. Mendeley. All right, so this is a big one. So Mendeley, it's what's called a reference manager. Now, at least during my year at CGSOC, they were recommending using a different one called RefWorks. At least as of when I'm making this video, RefWorks is a paid service, while CGSOC does have a subscription, so you could use it for free while you're there. As soon as you graduate, you no longer have access to your bibliography, whereas Mendeley is a pretty robust free service. Again, they do have paid tiers, but the free service is more than enough for whatever you would want to be doing. You can sign in, create an account, and then download the Mendeley app. So create your account, go through those steps, and then download the software. Once you have the software open, it will look something like this. Okay. Now I already have a lot of articles in here, and I did have the ability to do a group, but bottom line is you go to my library, click a new folder. I recommend creating one for each class, sort of like I did here. Okay, and then within each class, I was a little OCD, and I made a subfolder with a name for each exact class that we had within the overall larger course. So for example, critical thinking, and here's all the readings. So if I wanted to put one of these readings into Mendeley, I could either drag and drop the file just into this white area right here. It will make a good attempt to figure out the citation and all the metadata for you right away. I typically end up just doing it manually, which is a little bit of work, but it'll save you a lot of time writing papers. Almost always, Mendeley will want to say that everything's a journal article. That's not right. Okay, so the one thing you'll definitely have to do is change it off of journal article to something else. I just happen to pick a journal article here, but for example, this, the TRADOC G2 Applied Critical Thinking Handbook, not a journal. Mendeley will call it a journal. So you have to take it off of journal and put whatever is the most appropriate. For most things that are generated by the Army, just pick generic, okay? Once you pick it, click off of that entry, click back on it, and now all these fields that it wants you to fill out will be correct. It won't be showing the journal ones anymore. That's just like a small bug in Mendeley. Just know that it's there, and then just fill out the information as you see it. If you don't have the information, don't stress. Just fill out as much as you can. And now when you're ready to write, you can right-click, copy as, formatted citation. Okay, and now if I do something like open up Notepad, now I've got the formatted citation. And I'll give more information on this in the Mendeley specific course. Mendeley also integrates with Microsoft Word, so when you're writing papers, it will automatically do your bibliographies for you as well. So definitely a valuable resource there. Okay, Microsoft Office, fairly self-explanatory. However, I do want to show one thing. So if you don't already know, if you're in the military, you can get Microsoft's home use program. So just Google Microsoft home use program. Home use program. Okay. Go to the link that comes up in Google, and you put in your @mail.mil address in here, and then follow the instructions, and you can get Microsoft Office for not very much money. In this case, you'll get Microsoft 365. The version you'll see me using is Microsoft 2019, Microsoft Office 2019. Should look mostly the same, but the big thing that I want to point out to you that's super helpful is in PowerPoint. I have this thing, this Advanced Actions tab, which I added, and then the selection pane, and allows you to see everything in the PowerPoint, even if it's layered on top of each other, which can get super annoying sometimes. Obviously, in this very simple PowerPoint, it's not super helpful, but definitely add this to your ribbon. And the way you do that is go to File, Options, Customize Ribbon, and then go to All Commands, and then scroll all the way down to the S's. Get to Selection Pane, right there. And then what I did is I created a new group to call it Advanced Actions, or a new tab actually. And then in the tab, you add a new group. I called it Selection. And then you just click this Add button once you have so in here, Selection pane. And then I can click the Add to move it into here. Once you do that, click OK. And then you'll have this extra tab in Microsoft PowerPoint to get to that selection pane. This align thing is also super helpful too. Select multiple things on the PowerPoint, click align, you can align left, center, whatever, and it will line them all up perfectly. So that saves a lot of time as well. Okay, Adobe Acrobat. Again, this is a personal choice whether or not you want to pay the money for this. But Adobe Acrobat, the full version, not like the free Acrobat Pro DC, is very useful because you can do things like selecting the images directly, copy them, put them into your paper, and then cite them accordingly. You could also do optical character recognition, which I believe you could do in the free version as well. But the critical thing, if you don't already know, is the certificates piece. So I can say digitally sign. I can put a box right there, click my CAT card, okay, sign it, and then I can add digital signatures to whatever I'm working on at any time, and that's very, very useful when you need to sign random forms that people give you. Okay, and 32-bit Internet Explorer with SMIME. Okay, for your Mac users, sorry, this doesn't apply to you so much. Just general tip, militarycac.com. Okay, even for Mac people or even Linux, go through the list here. But this is particularly for webmail for Windows users. If you go into My Computer, okay, see program files x86, not the program files, the one with x86, okay, Internet Explorer, and right here, I export it, you can see, right click, create shortcut right here, okay, create the shortcut and then drag it onto your desktop. Once you've got that created, click it, open up that 32-bit version, press the little gear, Internet Options, Security, Trusted Sites, and then add these three. This will be your new webmail when you come to Fort Leavenworth. If you're on the distance learning, you'll have a different server. Add whatever your local server is in these two, and then when you get into webmail, install the SMIME control. For more directions on that, you can check out Military CAC or Ask a Battle Buddy. All right, I think that covers most of the essential software, and I went in a little bit too much depth with Microsoft Office and Acrobat and Internet Explorer, but it's fine. It'll save time for the other ones. See you with other videos.